Yeah. Yeah.
Hey everyone, how's it going? Welcome to In the Corner with the Cornerman, Ryan the Mighty Quinn, and Rakim the Boogeyman Cleveland. How you doing, my man?
Man, I'm doing awesome. Again, thanks for having me. It's always good to chop it up with a good friend of mine.
You said it, man. I'm so happy you're here. I'm so happy you're on. So, yeah, I wanted to do something with you regardless, whether it was just Matt chat or whatever. But then I saw the fight last night, the fight announcement. I'm like, boom, got to do it, got to take advantage, got to hop on this. So you're scheduled to fight Tyrell Fortune, and which Bellator is it? Bellator is it 274? What is it?
Bellator 277 in
277.
San Jose. Yeah,
Yes, in
that's
San Jose.
the McKee Patricky Pitbull card.
Ah, yes, awesome, awesome, great card. Glad you're going to be on it too, man. And
Yes, sir.
yeah, so I really wanted to talk about you, and I know you know so much about you. We coach the amateurs together, we train together. You're just such a wealth of knowledge with this sport. You got so many elements to yourself. You fought at different weight classes, so you had to learn how to fight differently, which might be
Mhm.
something we could touch base on a little bit. But tell me about Fortune. Tell me how this fight came to be.
Yeah, it's actually I'm stepping in on notice. He was slated to fight Steve Mowry. I don't know what happened there. Mowry had to back out for some reason, and they called me, and I kind of jumped right on it. Looking at how everything was falling together, we actually figured he would be one of the next people that will come up for me. So it wasn't quite a surprise, and I look forward to this matchup.
Great, yeah, me too, man. So he's wrestler, grappler heavy. You know, you are, you're striking, particularly to me, what I've seen is your main point. So that striker versus grappler, as we spoke about previously. Um, Great element for the fans. Obviously, we got to be good at everything these days, as we discussed. But is that basically how you see this fight going? He's going to try one thing, you're going to try the other.
Yeah, I mean, I'm definitely. If you look at his previous few fights, he showed a little bit more of the stand up approach, but we definitely figure his wrestling element will kind of show its head a little bit more, especially him coming off of a close split decision loss,
Hmm.
and we're looking forward to it. We're prepared for it. Like I said. This is mixed martial arts. It's not wrestling. It's not boxing. It's mixed martial arts. So you got to be a little bit knowledgeable and around it as far as all the elements put together. And I think I have the tools and the skill set to go in there and get it done.
I think you do too, man. Uh, one thing that I think about when I think of you is your boxing. And as much as much, especially at the heavyweight division, it's very rare to have elite level boxers, really good boxers. And you, being that you fought at a lighter weight before, you move differently than heavyweights.
Mm-hmm.
Now, when I say boxing, I'm always clear. Like I brought this up with Jeff Mayweather. There's a difference between boxing and punching, which you and I know that the casuals, they really don't, as much as they say they do. Now, this is another reason why I think that it's an element of advantage for someone like yourself against someone who's wrestling based. Now, your footwork and your range is an element of defense that people don't realize, and it's tough to gauge that. Like in wrestling, we start head on, we're right here. We don't have to close that distance; it's already closed for us.
Right.
In MMA, you're gonna have to. You start, what is it, 16, 32, 6? I think it's 18 feet apart. You got a lot of distance to close, and I think you being a striker, you could close and separate that distance to your own benefit.
Right. Yeah, it definitely comes down to being busy and the footwork, like you said.
Mhm.
Um, Changing angles, changing footwork, changing stances to kind of help me gauge of or take away the gauge of how he wants to enter his level changes and stuff like that. And I mean, you tune in on the 15th, man. You'll see a lot of busyness come to me, and when I do stop moving, I'm sure my corner will be freaking out, yelling, because that's
Yeah,
his opportunity to find his levels. So
man, That's exactly what it is. I remember whenever I had to fight, especially when I first started, I would just when I'm squared up, I need to square up to shoot. Like that was when I first started fighting, and against somebody like yourself, a striker that can move and create those angles. I remember first person to think of training like that was George Masvidal. He was around my shoulder before I could gauge anything, before I could land a jab, and I was like, man, there's some stuff I have to learn here, and that's a gauge I always looked for. Now, like you said, uh, we're good everywhere. We have to be good everywhere. Someone like yourself, yes, I mean, do you have a purple belt yet in jiu-jitsu?
Yeah, I got my purple belt.
Yeah, so you know a thing or two on the ground, enough to get out, so that's an element as well there. Um, I also like that, I know about being shorter for a weight class. I can tell you that much. I was short for 2 weight classes. So
Hey, it
so
happens, man.
yeah, these vertically challenged, but for somebody like me, it helps, and that might help somebody like you as well because that's a long way down for somebody to shoot under for a
Mhm.
heavyweight to level change. Like you said, he's got a level change. Do you think that's going to play a big factor here, the height?
I think it will. Um, you know, like I said, the main thing I got to do is keep moving. A stationary target becomes a hit target.
Mhm.
And that's how we look at it as far as boxing, and it's kind of the same. Um, for grappling too. Once I stop moving my feet and I stand square in front of him, he's gonna be able to snatch his single or shoot his double. So I got to keep moving, but with him having to change levels to a further distance, it'll give me that much more time to, react and get my hips back and move around and stuff like that too. So
Absolutely.
it's a different element, especially it's a different element when you have to mix everything together. Also,
Mhm.
sometimes if you've seen me fight in the past, um, not saying I'm the best grappler in the world, but I can grapple. But I get so caught up in one element sometimes that when somebody grabs me, it's like, oh shit, what the hell? And that's just how it is sometimes when you kind of get into a tunnel vision type situation. And um, I think I'll be able to kind of make him get tunnel vision as far as using his wrestling when I start
You,
poking him in the eyes.
yeah. You know, you made me think of something how about my career. Like, but I remember I had a layoff from an injury, and that was I was 11 fights into my career, and I was so wrestling and grappling heavy, like I would just wanted to take you down. And during that time off, I really made a point to work kickboxing, but more my boxing. I thought that was going to complement my wrestling, and that was going to keep me safe. Um, I was so confident in my wrestling that I relied on a more boxing heavy stance because that was where my weakness was. And I developed that jab. I developed everything else.
Hmm.
I used to say that early on in my career, I was a wrestler doing MMA. And then the last half of my career, I was an MMA fighter that used my wrestling. I didn't make up that quote. I stole that from, I forgot who it was, from the NFL Network when they were talking about Michael Vick's return. They said Michael Vick was an athlete that was playing quarterback. And then later on, when he had his little run with the Eagles that one year, he was a quarterback using his athleticism.
Yeah.
And I think that kind of goes with what you say. Like, yes, we're strong here, but we got to know how to do this with that, not this because of that.
Right. Right. Yeah.
Mhm.
You gotta know it all, man, because it only takes one accident or one exchange. Say I hurt my hand or something, and
Mm,
I have to rely on a grappling aspect to keep me safe. And if I don't have it, I'm in that much more trouble. And it's obvious when people don't have certain things. So once you exploit it, it's hard to unsee it, and
yeah,
hard for it not to become a target. But I've been working hard to fix the small mistakes that I've been making because that's all it takes. In MMA, one small mistake can cause you a big loss,
yeah.
and
Like
it's all the
uh,
small things you got to fix.
all the small things, like Blink 182. So no, but what do you call it? Man, when was the last time we heard of that? Right, but so like we were talking previously, like you can have a bad at bat in baseball, you can have a bad set of downs in football.
Mm.
you have a bad round in MMA, it could lead to a bad fight. And like our season is our career. So our margin for error is a lot smaller than those.
Yeah.
And that's why, like you said, you got to be good at everything, or at least like this is good for the younger fighters. I hope younger fighters watch this because I love the amateur program when I was coaching. I want to help them. So what can you do to channel into what you're looking for? Like, or how could what you do defend elsewise? Like how could you develop your game around that? As much as you got to be good everywhere, everyone does have a security blanket.
Yeah.
So I know I'm kind of rambling a little bit there, but yeah, man, like you have just such a high fight IQ. I know because we worked with the amateurs together, we trained together, and I just love it when, like, I remember just seeing times, and like you said, like you are so good, you could switch stances. I mean, that is it's not very common for you. You're effective from both southpaw and orthodox, and that's going to be interesting to see as well.
Yeah, definitely. And that's something that I'll kind of have to show.
Mm-hmm.
To kind of, I can't just stay in one spot, or like I said, and I can't stay in one stance. I'm gonna have to move around. I'm gonna have to switch it up. I'm gonna have to give them different looks to benefit what I'm good at doing. And you never know. You might see the old All-American get taken down by this guy.
Oh man, you heard it here.
Then the
You
world
heard
go
you,
crazy off. Oh my God, he can wrestle. Well, yeah, I can wrestle. You kind of have to be able to.
you heard it on the corner, man. Rakim Cleveland's going for a double leg.
Oh, I don't know about a double now. I might, a good snatch single or a trip. That's more in my pocket. I don't know about a double. I hate to get sprawled on and be underneath them.
Yeah, that's a lot of work down there.
That's
Just
a whole different element.
yeah. So yeah, just stay off the fence. Just like like I always like it's kind of funny, like and it's so true. Like I feel like single legs are almost a thing of the past in MMA now, and it's unfortunate because usually even if people get a single leg, they just want to gobble you up against the fence. And I feel like it's like
Mm-hmm.
wrestlers now, it's almost like it's not even, oh, this guy's got good wrestling. He's got a good double leg. I really want to see, and I always say I'm going to do this. I'm going to count the amount of single legs finished on a UFC or Bellator event because I just don't see them anymore. And I can't I can't like play. I can't play devil's advocate. That was me too. Towards the end of my career, double legs are what works. And but I think that there were certain times where I went double to single, and single's more effective. I know that running the pipe, but that's always something that I kept in the back of my head, and maybe that's something that might help you here too.
Yeah, for sure. For
Mhm.
sure. Single to the body lock back take. All that stuff's effective if you use it right in the right timing. There's just so many people when they get in these situations they forget the hours and hours of the drilling and the techniques,
Yeah.
or they don't work them. You
Mhm.
know, we coached down in Florida together, and I've been coaching here too, and that's my biggest thing with some of these young fighters. Like, it is useless for us to teach you techniques and you not to even try them when it's time to try them.
Yeah.
Like, if I show you 5 techniques, at least work one of them.
Mhm.
Work one of them. That's how you build that muscle memory and get good at it. So, like, it's just repetition, and if you don't practice what you're trying to get done, it's going to be useless when you get in a position to use it, and you can't get it right because you don't use it when you have the chance to use it over and over. So
Absolutely, man. Like I had this discussion with Brad, another good friend of ours, the other day, where sparring, especially for young fighters, sparring could start to be a lazy form of training because people just do that. That's the sparring supposed to be the fun part where you're supposed to work things and everything that you've been drilling on.
hmm
And I know if I'm not drilling and I'm only sparring, I'm only going to get tired and go at exactly what I already know. I'm not going outside my comfort zone. And like Bruce Lee used to say, it's not the man who trains one kick 1,000 times; it's the man who trains, or it's not the man who trains 1,000 kicks one time; it's the man who trains one kick 1,000 times. You got to get that repetition in, and
yeah,
it sucks with these young fighters. We're not wasting our energy on this for no reason. We're trying to tell you this because it works.
yeah,
I mean, I was that guy too, so I can't really, but that's the way it is.
yeah. The secret though that I'm learning, that I'm getting a little bit older, is you gotta get them tired first and then teach them. That's the only time they learn. You got to dog them first and then teach them. You can't teach
That's
them
absolutely true.
fresh. They get ADD. They
Hmm.
around and not paying attention.
Yeah, I remember a couple times, a couple of the guys that we were training, and especially on like the Mondays when they're fresh from the weekend. It's like, guys, what the hell? Come on. What do we got to do here? Just stop
Yeah.
everything. Shark bait wrestling. Let's go. Like, just got to get them tired. But all right, Rakim, Bellator 277. You against Tyrell Fortune. Can't wait. This is a big one for you. I'm always in your corner, brother. And best of luck to you. Thank you so much for coming on.
Yes, sir. Thanks for having me, and don't be surprised at these results, man.
Never surprised, man. I know what you're capable of.
Some people are gonna be shocked. Oh, I can't believe it, but just know that I've been doing this for a long time, and don't ever look past me. That's the worst thing you can do.
Never. You've been in there with a lot of people. You train with a lot of people. I can't
Yes,
wait,
sir.
brother.
Yes, sir.